Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. Let's start the show. Hey,
what's up?
Hello, and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. I'm your co-host, Doug Bennett.
And I'm your other co-host, Seth Nacho. Welcome to this fabulous recording. Shaboom boom!
Wee wee!
Why did you, what? That's my catchphrase, dude. We established this.
The dang old...
I go back to last episode, let's rock and roll.
Hey, that's not going anywhere.
I guess not.
But
anyway.
that was me going back too, brother.
Yeah. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, there you go.
Look how much, what does the dealer say in that meme? Slaps car?
You can fit so many X in this Y. Yeah. But if you're just joining us, that means that you didn't get into the Spotify exclusive premium content down below. Golly. It'll
Go
blow
check it
your,
out.
It'll blow your mind. It'll Joe your mind. Wink, wink.
You could fit so many Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. Why did my head go there? Oh, I figured out, though, why we have so many immigrants these days.
Why is that?
Because people aren't having babies, Doug.
It's the great replacement.
It seriously is. Like, we need workers and laborers. Get them from somewhere else.
It is genocide on the societal scale. And it's not okay. And, we're putting a stop to it, and that's a good thing. They will not replace us. But, with that being said, I have something important to get to right up off the top.
Oh, shit.
The X account alignment scale has officially... Someone made an alignment app, and everyone can know their alignment between good and evil and lawful and chaotic.
Okay, so like a D&D sort of alignment.
Not like that at all.
That's D&D, isn't it?
Well, the D&D alignment scale have been largely retired since probably the start of 3rd edition.
Okay, but it's lawful good, neutral.
Okay, so this is
chaotic.
This is different than that. This is a 4-pole, 2-axis thing.
Like a political compass.
Yes.
Like left or right, and then what are the other two? Is it economics or?
Yeah. Basically, we have it laid out: lawful, chaotic, good, evil.
So if you're at the origin, you're at neutral.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I have all 3 of them here for the show account.
What?
For your
did Gronk do this? Who
for
did
your
this?
account and for my account? It's some user.
Bro, I saw on X that somebody was saying Gronk's a woman. Like the AI is a woman.
I mean, Grok very well could be. I know that Gronk is a retired football player.
Oh yeah, I meant Grok.
Had a really good flavor of Monster
But
Energy.
Gonk. You know what Gonk is?
It sounds like isn't that the genre of music all the kids on TikTok like with the edits?
Supposedly it's an insult in Cyberpunk.
Oh, Gonk, yeah.
Yeah. I started playing Cyberpunk 2077. Let's go.
Did you?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So now I'm gonna start saying choom and all that bullshit.
All right. Well,
The biz. It's preem, dude.
let me give you these deets.
Please, yeah.
Right.
So the show account. Which one do you start with? Your account?
Let's start with the show account because it was by far the most surprising to me.
Yeah, because the show account. The show really only tweets the episode links. I think at this point. We could do more tweets, right? I don't know if we should though, but we can.
Yeah, there's room to grow there.
There's room to grow there.
Now it is like two or 3 ticks into lawful.
Okay.
And then it's at almost maximum evil.
Maximum evil? It's for all those damn hashtags you use.
I guess it might be. Now mine is better, but it's still kind of crazy.
What's yours?
It's 3 ticks each into both lawful and evil.
Okay.
Which I low-key fuck with a little. I consider myself a force for good. I don't mind if my account is a...
See, yeah, I think it's an image you're trying to make. I think, yeah, you are a little bit evil online and social media.
And then you're basically true neutral.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have
Nice.
one tick each in lawful and good.
Yeah, see, guys? See, guys? The
Wait.
voice, the true liberal masculine voice is here.
I don't think you could claim any like more labels anymore at all. Like one tick in each is just neutral as far as I'm concerned.
It's basically a standard deviation. Like, yeah.
So
Oh,
I think you're just the guy. You're just
bro, I saw a crazy post on this thing. How do I look at my post? Yeah, here we go. I reposted this. Maybe I'll show the camera. I'll show you real quick. It was a doctor holding like a thing, and he says, "We will make rape airborne."
oh, I love that guy.
And I said, "Please don't." So let me see if I can show the camera. I said, "Please don't."
Yeah.
So that was really funny to me.
No, that guy's account rules. I don't even think it's probably not the actual scientist saying that stuff, but that scientist has a bunch of like glamour shots essentially. Another one that I saw.
His glamour shots. They like took pictures while he was working. Like, look.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in fact, important to note, it's Chinese. Okay, they're sick as fuck with their shit, in multiple senses of the word. Another one I saw him do was it's scientifically feasible to depopulate India, which is just one. It's a true thing to say. It is true. That is scientifically feasible. And it's also just wild to make that as a tweet. Very funny. 10 out of 10, China science guy.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what's gonna happen when we when we don't have enough population to replenish? And what I was talking about earlier,
Replenish what? Okay.
the workforce and everybody, you know.
Oh, boo! The stock's gonna go down. When number gonna go up anymore? Call me when I give a shit. Yeah. Perpetual growth is infeasible, and it is the cornerstone upon which like a lot of people are staking their economic policy. Like, there's a point to be made. Like, the only reason to care about replacement fertility rate is if you're trying to continue making your number go up. It's like, it's policy by boardroom. It's policy by investors and stakeholders. It doesn't have anything to do with actual people. Like, so I really couldn't give a shit. People are still having kids.
They are.
Those kids will grow up and have.
That's right. Like, I
lives.
feel like I see people having kids all the time. You go on your Facebook and you're like, damn, all my friends are
Yeah. Then
married with children,
Yeah, they're gonna.
divorced with children.
They're still gonna grow up and have.
Well, they
lives.
haven't gotten the divorce yet. The 5 more years.
Yeah, our future is going. It is by definition going to look. It's going to look different than what we've had before. It always does. You know.
Yeah, it always does, doesn't it?
If I
We need an oracle. We need a Nostradamus of our age.
look, well, you know what I want to. If we need that, I say we stick more virgins back in the volcanoes, like what the Greeks did.
Oh,
Okay,
We
the
could-
the original oracles.
we could Aztec it.
Oh, I'm not talking about you know the Oracle of Delphi, right?
Yeah.
You're familiar with that. For anyone who doesn't know, basically the Vestal Virgins, aka they were dedicated to the. Well, Vesta was the Roman name for the goddess.
It sure
of the
was.
heart.
So now you've kind of confused it. But yeah.
But I'm giving as many buzzwords.
Her name was Demeter in Greek. The goddess of the hearth and home. And
Demeter, yeah.
I think it was her, right? She's the goddess of the earth.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But point being, so there would be essentially like the priest class of women. They would be virgins, just like male priests. Obviously, you want to stay as close to God as possible. You don't taint yourself with this world. But
Catholicism is the same, right?
yeah, these caves would have open vents, like went down to like magma or whatever, and they would get visions tripping off sulfur gases. So that's what I mean by volcanoes.
That's
okay?
pretty fucking sweet, dude. That's kind of cool. We're huffing sulfur to see visions, bro.
Yeah, they didn't know the science behind it. They just knew that hey, they're talking like this was a big fucking deal. Anybody who's ever
Oedipus. Guess what's gonna happen to you, man?
anybody who's ever taken or been around psychedelics knows how important a trip seems to feel. So, you know, when they say this doesn't augur well, my lord.
I can't relate, but I'm sure you guys can.
If you've ever been to a concert, you've been around psychedelics.
Yeah, no, I'm just fucking around, bro.
But
Everybody knows when it's there, it's like this is the truth.
yeah, fucking. That's one of the things that media, like, because there's so much that media tends to get wrong about drugs in general.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that's one aspect of the psychedelic experience that media does actually nail to a T. Just like the gravity that one feels underneath those circumstances.
Yeah, usually they alter, like it gets blurry and shit, and yeah.
But we could get back on. You calling for an oracle, brother? There's plenty of open magma vents in this world.
Are we gonna go Oracle, bro?
Send in the mergence.
The Oracle's at insert? So the Oracle's at Delphi?
Ah, brother. Fucking, I don't know. The kind of augury that I
Did you watch 300?
No.
You never saw 300?
I've seen
With
like
the Spartans?
clips, bro.
There's a part where they go talk to the Oracle or like these weird people to like figure out what they're supposed to do, and they're like these weird like deformed people. Like if that is what the Oracle is, then I can't do that.
No, I think the kind of augury
I did see a kid that can do it though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got Down syndrome.
Okay.
He's Jewish. He's gay. He's paralyzed. And he's black.
Jesus.
That kid has everything going against him.
Fucking.
That poor guy.
God said, "Fuck you" in particular. But
Oh man, poor kid.
yeah, I don't know the kind
But
of.
that guy could be an Oracle.
I mean, he can be anything apparently. He's already so much.
He's already so many things.
Yeah, man. Fucking. There's a lot of different ways of fortune telling, though.
Yeah.
I think the kind of augury I would get into would be like bone casting, or maybe like, you know, keeping ravens in general tends to give you access to so many omens.
I would say like tea leaves, but I think I can't remember the name of the job. It used to be a medieval job or something. But like you take like bones and like organs and stuff and like throw them or whatever, like smoke them or something, and it would like tell you something in there.
So, did that have a name?
I think it started with A, but I can't remember what it was.
Well, doing stuff like that is augury. Like,
Yeah, it was like Augur or something was the name. I can't remember exactly, but yeah. We learned about this. We learned about this at school.
No, that's become one of my go-to phrases in like role-playing games. Like, if I want to say, instead of saying like I got a bad feeling about this, I'm like, this does not augur well.
Please, can that be the title? This does not augur well.
Sure, man.
Let's talk about more hopeless shit, shall we?
Dude.
Let's get really depressed this episode.
I mean, there's some fun stuff on my docket, but...
No, of course. No, I only have fun stuff, too.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what is always fun, though?
Oh, it's kind of depressing. What's always fun?
Sometimes it's depressing, too, actually. So this is both of those things. I'm talking about the big question.
Ah. The biggest of questions, if you will.
Big question.
Okay, Doug. I want you to think about this for just a second. What was the population like before the Industrial Revolution?
Pretty stagnant, I think.
Was it about 2 billion in the world?
Yeah, I think I would say no more than 2 billion.
I thought it was like 1 point something, so like I give it like 2 billion as like an estimate. And it was like that for years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it picked up, right? Why? Doug, do you know why? There's probably multiple reasons. And I know you're a big proponent, I think, of the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, it was sick as fuck. It was the continuation of man's dominance over nature.
Now, there's a part of that, though, that you might not realize.
I mean...
How are we able to grow so much food for all these people?
It's fucking... improved methods of agriculture. One of the big... Like,
what do you mean by that?
This is, for example, this isn't a food product, but... For example, like huge economic spike from the cotton gin, being able to produce and sell way more cotton than you could through manual
Sure, but that
labor.
was like early 1800s.
So technology like that, but for food crops.
Yeah, so you're talking about technology.
Yeah.
See, I got something else for you.
Okay.
I got something else for you. It's a chemical. It's called ammonia. This guy, there's a guy in history. This is like, okay, we did like a analysis because my friend was like curious if the guy met Nietzsche. He is a little bit after Nietzsche. So when did Nietzsche die? You did a big study about that. He died like in the 1800s at some point, right?
I think like the end of the 19th century.
Yeah. So this guy was like 16 when Nietzsche died. He was alive in that kind of time. So like right when the Industrial Revolution was going on and stuff, so let me go back even further because this is crazy. Did you know that as an American, you can just go to an island that is deserted and claim it for America, and then America has to support you, and like we'll send troops to defend it?
That makes it makes complete sense to me.
There's literally a law that passed in 1856 that if you go to an island that's not anyone's island and say that it's America's, they have to defend it.
Fuck yeah.
So, get ready for insert island here. Insert island here.
Brother, that would take so much effort.
But the reason I say that is because there's these little islands off the edge of Peru. Now, America didn't claim these, but they were covered in bird shit. Okay? Birds went there to mate, and the bird shit was very profitable. Bird shit also, well, same thing with bat shit, also called guano. Guano is used as a fertilizer because it has a lot of nitrogen in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Ammonia.
Everybody knows this, you need nitrogen to grow things. Well, you know, there was a limited supply. Peru said, hey, we're not selling anymore because people were taking so much of it. So we had to come up with a way to synthesize nitrogen. And this guy named Haber, he invented the Haber process, where he used like pressure and stuff, and I think a sheet of osmium to make ammonia. And then he was the first guy to really ever make that from scratch, like by synthesizing it himself.
Hell yeah.
That you have to understand, nitrogen when it's together is like impossible to break apart. Like it takes a lot of energy. So he figured that out. Because the only other way it's been figured out before is by nature, right? Either lightning or bacteria doing it. So humans, we figured it out finally. Haber did it. If Haber didn't do it, I'm sure someone else would have. But he did it, and it was awesome. And that's probably part of the reason we have so much. We have the food supply we have now because of that one guy.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that's cool. Next thing, ammonia, pretty dangerous. Because ammonium nitrate, the compound it's usually used for fertilizer with, explodes.
But yeah, that makes sense.
I think there was a really big explosion in 2020 in Beirut, in Lebanon. There was like a warehouse where they were keeping a bunch of ammonium nitrate. It caught fire, and it exploded so huge in the city. I don't know if you want to look up any footage from that, but it exploded.
Yeah, I remember that happening.
And it registered at 3.3 scale on the Richter scale, and it made an artificial earthquake because of how big the explosion was.
Yeah, that one was a really big problem because, I mean, just the area in general. I was active duty at the time. And
Oh, yeah.
But before the details came out, it was like, yikes. Is this going to be like a troops on the ground situation? But
Right.
I mean,
I mean, if it was, it'd probably be for aid at that point, you know?
well, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so his stuff could be used for weapons, is what I'm saying, at that point. The dude was not like Einstein. He was not a pacifist. He joined up with Germany in World War I
Hell yeah.
to create chemical weapons for his country. Got promoted to captain because of it, because he made chlorine gas.
Fuck yeah.
That was heavy and would go into the trenches and kill people. So when he won the Nobel Prize, people were really upset at him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he fed the whole world.
Well, winning the Nobel Prize.
It's like a tragic figure, dude.
I don't know about tragic. That's pretty. It sounds like a pretty badass life. Pretty cool, badass guy.
He just wanted to end the war quickly so people would stop dying.
Humanitarian, if you think about it.
He's trying to be.
But winning the Nobel Prize for that makes so much sense.
For the Haber process.
Well,
right? Because that literally made fertilizer a thing.
Yeah, but the first Nobel was for nitroglycerin, which is bombs. So.
Right, yeah, because the stuff could be used in that. And so you know why the bomb happens? When nitrogen, so like nitrogen's not in its natural just N2, right? It's in the form, and then when it goes back to N2, it releases a fuck ton of energy, and that's why it explodes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's why,
He also,
that's why NOS works, right?
Again, the institute that he was at, that he got an institute after he made the Haber process, and the country was like, "Oh shit, you're fucking sick. You're rich now." Obviously, after World War I, Germany was not rich.
No.
And then when the Nazis came to power, they were like, "Jews gotta go," and like out of civil service and stuff. And he was Jewish, but because he was in World War I, he was exempt. But he was like, you know what? I'll just quit with my fellow Jews. He was
solidarity.
And then he didn't die of the Holocaust. He died of a heart attack or something. But his institute made Zyklon B. They put a foul-smelling chemical in it at first to kill pesticides. To kill pests. Like it was a pesticide. And then the Germans were like, "Hey, take that foul-smelling chemical out of it."
Yeah, we're not. There's.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, yeah.
That guy's whole life is that's crazy.
It sounds like one of the top 10 guys in history.
Like, would you make a movie about him? That'd be pretty cool.
Probably not. Movies about guys like that sucking or gay. See Oppenheimer as a very recent example.
Oh, okay. That movie sucked.
That movie blew ass, dude.
But his life was cool though.
But yeah. So many.
I just had to dump that. That was cool to me.
Yeah, there's like 7 different tangents I could take off of that, and it's gonna be none of them.
None of them?
Yeah.
What?
We don't have time to discuss Zyklon B, which there's a lot to talk about there.
Okay.
A little tidbit that I'll give you.
Yeah, give us a tidbit. Give us a little something.
The real tidbit. Guys like Haber, who had the opportunity to have exemptions from leaving Nazi Germany. A lot of them did. A little known talking point that a lot of people who get into Nazism because of Jews, they like to ignore this. There's a ton of ethnically or religiously Jewish people who decided to actually stick in and hang on with the Nazi regime. People gloss over that all the time for one reason or another.
The people that were exempt from prior military service?
Yeah, people basically who cared more about being German than they did about their religious or ethnic heritage.
And then the Nazis were cool with that?
Yeah.
Which is weird, because normally they weren't cool with that.
Some of Hitler's top guys were Jewish.
Which is wild, because, he doesn't like them, so, interesting.
Also, on this topic...
Although, there's this whole conspiracy theory there I don't want to get into, really.
Yeah. Staying on the topic of what Hitler did or did not like.
Yeah.
One thing that's been sort of brought to my attention and emphasized a lot more recently in the discussion is that anti-Semitism in general wasn't super popular even when the Nazis were in power. Kristallnacht was a PR nightmare for the Nazis. Hitler was this was the wrong way to do it. General population of Germany is getting mad at us about this. Okay. Chill the fuck out. Just an interesting layer to it. A little bit of nuance that doesn't get highlighted as much. Especially when you think about it gets pitched right as this whole totalitarian overbearing craziness.
Yeah.
And like anything else, there's more to it than that.
Right. Yeah, I guess if you're a German in that time, right, and you see your fellow other Germans get kicked out of their businesses and stuff, I feel like you don't just go, "That's okay,"
Right, exactly.
I think, is that what you mean? Because I feel like anti-Semitism was pretty popular back, in Europe for a long time, but not popular enough to be like, this is okay, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a difference between sitting around and blaming somebody for your problems and like complaining about it, and then actually committing large-scale genocide.
Yeah, let's talk like America for a second. Like, if instead of ICE detaining these people and sending them back, they just killed them,
A lot less people would probably be okay.
we would not like that. Yeah, right? Like, we don't hate people that much or anything. We're just like, dude, just stop being here illegally.
Yeah, and since it always needs to be said anytime we introduce nuance to these kinds of things, pointing out the nuance is not an endorsement of these things. We're not saying that it was, good actually.
Doug
Right.
Doug likes it. Just kidding.
You know, it's important. Like everything that happens with humans is important to humanize it in order to properly understand it all the way. And so, just an interesting little tidbit I picked up along the way.
Yeah, but that is crazy. I didn't realize that there were actually some Jews that were still working for him.
Yeah.
You are an asshole, dude. How can you watch all this shit go on and be like, yep, I'm German? Like, it's like, I get that, but like, come on, dude.
Well, I mean, if I may indulge in a stereotype here for a moment, one thing we know about Jewish people is they love to win. They love being winners. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
okay, whatever.
You know, maybe that particular predilection was taken over for those guys.
I think they were chaotic evil, dude. I think that's what Grok would tell you. They align really far to them.
Brother, you can't do that. If you're going to be evil, you have to be lawful. That's the only way evil works. Chaotic evil, that's the Joker.
I'm the Joker, baby.
But yeah, I think with that, I mean, we could spend hours talking about that. I'm not the one to do it, by the way. I have not consumed nearly enough content to continue that angle of discussion.
Okay, that's fine. I think the tidbit was enough to like rein in some Doug in there. There is one more thing I was going to talk about.
Oh yeah,
communism.
really bad. What else?
Communism. I'm going to give you guys some survival tips for when we become communist. The first one is get used to being starved. Be used to, dude. Girls in middle school, bro, they didn't eat. Okay, all right. Like, you'll be fine. just get over it. But like, famine is very popular in communism. People love to starve to death in communism. You know, they come to relocate the food from where it's being made, and then all those people die. It's great.
Wow. Wow.
Do you know about that? The 6 million that died in the Soviet Union because they stole the food from them.
Jesus Christ.
And then another thing in communism, don't have opinions. Don't formulate any opinions in your head. You know what I mean? Just don't do it. Because if you have something to say against the government, you're gonna die. So don't do that. Thirdly, don't think about it, dude. Because in communism, there's not supposed to be government and there's not supposed to be social classes. But there's gonna be a government. There's probably gonna be social classes, kind of, sort of, too. But don't think about it.
Yeah. It's de facto social classes as well. Like, by its very nature, the people who are meant to govern within a communist system, of course, if there's any goodness to be had, they're going to allocate it toward the top. It's a real, it's like sort of the opposite of what you want.
Yeah.
Like, one of the big leadership like bringing back my service, fucking hoorah. But one of the big leadership principles that they get drilled into your head when you start moving up the ranks is something like, it's like, you know, you lead from the front, leaders eat last, like, you eat in ascending order, for example. Like,
Okay.
and that means if there's not necessarily, if someone didn't bring enough food, guess who's not eating? The sergeant, the officers, the captain. He's gonna skip his meal so that his troops actually eat and achieve mission, which is pretty based, not gonna lie.
That's what?
It's pretty based.
No, but like, whose system is that?
It's just one of the leadership principles.
In communism?
No.
in our just in general.
So, in communism, they reverse it.
Yeah, communism they reverse it. Okay, and then you're gonna be dirt poor, and then the last thing is make sure you're good at excuses. Make sure you're really good at coming up with excuses. Just say some shit like real communism's never been tried before. The idealized version of my head's never been tried before. Just shout shit like that, and definitely what about it? Definitely be like, what about capitalism?
Yeah. The crazy thing about communism is that it actually can't ever be implemented. Like the communism, the path laid out in Capital, which I'm going to stick my hand up and say right now that I'm one of the few people that has actually read both the manifesto and Capital. People love to just, they have books. They think the books themselves have power and answers.
What do you mean you read Capital?
Marx. That's one of the books.
He has another book?
There's the Communist Manifesto, and then there's Capital.
I was thinking, have you read The Invisible Hand?
Fucking...
By that dude that made capitalism? What was his name? Adam Smith or some shit? I can't remember exactly.
You don't need to read that one. That one just that's just a nebulous force that exists. It's akin to God, but and someone who's actually read the books, right? There's a process to it. There's the beginning, which is the fucking overthrowing, the upheaval, the revolution. Then there's the middle part in which the party begins the redistribution process, and there's the end where there's essentially no government at all. Everything just magically takes care of itself, and people are predisposed to sharing and bartering.
So we don't make it to that point ever. It makes it to that middle point.
Yeah, and it will never be made to, because once the party has all the power and everything benefits them, they're like, oh, it's actually sick as fuck. Shit's really sweet when everything is for our means, and we can say, don't worry, folks. It's like George R.R. Martin. Don't worry, the next book's coming. I swear I'm gonna finish this book. This next book's gonna be so good. Communism's coming.
We're gonna keep winning. You're gonna get tired of winning.
Well, I don't know if I want to draw that comparison, but
you were doing it, man. What do you mean?
In case the mockery that I was doing is of George R. R. Martin in the South Park episode where they make fun.
Right, but you kind of had it Trump sort of.
He's never done anything wrong ever, okay? We will not besmirch the commander.
Some of the shit that's already happened is kind of crazy, bro.
I digress. Point being is, communism, you can't get to it because, the end state of it is a thing that doesn't exist.
Right.
It is.
Did Vietnam not even make it there?
Yeah, but what they're doing is for whatever reason, it works for them.
Maybe the party is just pretty chill over there.
Yeah, and you know,
you guys can't eat. The bread line will have bread.
Dude, they have one of the world's best sandwiches. Banh mi's kind of go crazy.
Yeah.
So
when I'm waiting 10 hours in the bread line, make sure you make up small talk with your fellow other bread line goers. That way, the time passes way faster.
Yeah. The academic form of communism is laid out in the books. That doesn't exist. It can't. By definition, it's defined by the absence of government. You can't affirm a negative or some shit. It's like asking somebody to prove that God doesn't exist. What are you asking me, bro? That by its definition doesn't make any sense. But yeah, every time they follow the game plan, it's just the party realizes, actually, things are good for us now, so we'll stop here. And that leads into all these conditions that you laid out.
Yeah.
So, not only have they tried it, it's bad. And we have now fulfilled the second verse of the theme song. We've talked about science and why communism's bad. Doctor?
Oh my god, dude. This episode is very on brand.
Indeed.
What are we going to talk about next?
Yeah, we're going to talk about some really low stakes news.
We have some humor?
We'll start with, it's all funny news, honestly.
News and humor?
This week. So I want you to watch this clip.
Okay.
And tell me what you think happens.
Right, I like the red arrow in the
Yeah,
corner.
the red arrow is necessary. It's pointing to a track runner.
Okay, I see. It's like a baton race. Whoa! Whoa! She dropped it?
All right. So, what do you think went on there?
Physical violence.
Yeah, she
One of the runners took the baton and smacked the other one in the head. As they were running.
very clearly causing her to fucking
Drop it. If you drop the baton, you lose the relay race, right?
yeah. Shut up. We're done with this clip. Oh my god.
Tucker, you having technical difficulties? Fuck.
All right, this entire tab's going away.
There you go.
Boom.
Good job.
Done. But yeah, that was someone she was running against, obviously, and I mean she successfully took out her opponent. You know that girl.
That was that lawful evil?
No, that was chaos right there, brother. That's not in the rules. What are you talking about?
Oh, true.
Yeah, lawful is adherence to the letter.
You're like a legal loophole. That's what you do.
Oh yeah, brother. Life's all about loopholes. Fucking, if you wait 7 years, they can't call your debts anymore.
It's about loopholes and poopholes. I don't know why. I just had to say it. It was like some verbal bullshit I had to say.
I want to put a pin in poop holes because we're going to get back to those later.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
But so basically, this girl is just like, I don't want to come in third, I want to come in second. Fucking clubs the shit out of this other runner. Does end up coming in second. Everyone's like, hey, no.
That's not allowed.
Fuck you, actually. And it's put her college scholarships in jeopardy.
Yeah, did she think she was going to win by doing that? Did you think that was okay?
Yeah, there was no thoughts in that woman's head. And really a girl, because this is high school track.
Well, there was a thought. The thought was, I'm coming in second, but not the right way to go about it. Maybe just be faster.
No. And there's been fallout over the girl you saw. We're not going to get into her.
I didn't know they were in high school, though. Okay.
Yeah. But you saw her crying and having a press conference talking about it. Guess what she's blaming all the backlash on?
I would love to know.
Guess.
I can guess, but I don't want to.
Well,
you want me to?
Yes.
I'm guessing it's based on her ethnicity.
She's blaming it on racism.
Because she's black.
And her victim was black.
Your victim was black as well.
And most of the people that were mad at her, get this, black. And yet somehow it's Whitey's fault. So it's very funny. It's in the complete absence of
this is a high schooler, dude.
In the complete absence of a racial divide, racism. This is the mind of a lefty. This is the mind of the American liberal.
Honestly, I just want to say it's the mind of a person that doesn't want to take responsibility. But I mean, yeah, there is some leftist trends there to blame racism, right? But I feel like it's just because the girl doesn't want to take responsibility for her own actions because she's fucking an immature child, right?
So, just very, very funny. Just of course, everything about it is you look at that and you're like, that tracks.
Yeah, that tracks.
It's not baseball.
Literally, that tracks.
Nice.
Track. Oh man. Yeah, this is a PSA for all my all the people in high school watching this shit. There's no way. I really hope that's not the case.
Dude,
I'd say this is
I would love if a large majority of our audience someday becomes the 16 to 21 crowd.
like a Charlie D'Amelio sort of crowd.
Dude, I mean, I think
you cannot make your base high schoolers because high schoolers change every 4 years, right? And then it's a new generation that wants new things. So
all right, so let me rephrase it then.
yeah.
I would love at some point in our stages of growth, we capture a large chunk of 16 to 21 year olds.
And they grow with us?
That then grow with us. I think about how cool that would be.
That would be cool, yeah. But anyway, don't smack anyone in the head with a baton in a track and field relay. Don't do that. Do something more clever. Do something more clever than that. If you want to be dirty and win some way, Be more clever about it. I don't know what you could do, but
Plant somebody outside of the meet, but within earshot. Plant somebody outside with a starter pistol.
make them do a false start or something.
Get them disqualified.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't know, man. Just think of something better than that. Put a hill in the dirt so the person trips, I guess, or something beforehand. I don't know. It's something.
Fucking pretend you're being nice. Give them a little sugary treat. Be like, here, keep your energy up. Then, on the starting line, carb crash.
Oh no, you got diabetes on the way to the third person.
Jesus. Well, fucking continuing like silliness. These are very 2016 stories, essentially, with people getting mad about like things and stuff, like identity-based stuff.
Yeah.
Chess.com.
Stuff that we moved past. Yeah.
Chess.com pissed a bunch of people off on Twitter by saying that we should rename the bishop piece.
To what?
Well, they just said that we should rename it, right?
Okay.
And a fuck ton of people got really mad about like the erasure of Christianity from the world, which I mean does happen in a lot of other ways, but not on a very lighthearted tweet about we rename a chess piece.
Yeah, I don't think that needs to be considered.
Yeah. So we did left inflammatory with that last story. This is a little bit more right inflammatory, where people are getting
butthurt about Christianity being taken away from chess.
Yeah. Which in chess would be not such a big deal. There's other angles to that. But this is very similar to something I've already said. We don't have time. This is a bigger topic than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, we're just talking about renaming a chess piece. I don't think that needs to be that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the bishop, chess pieces kind of represent like a medieval sort of like framework. The rook is a castle. There's a knight. There's a king and a queen. And there's a bishop. I mean, that just makes sense. Like in those old days, there probably was a bishop in every castle.
Indeed.
That was their liaison to the Catholic Church. So
they often served important advisory functions.
There's bishops in other churches. Like I believe the Anglican Church, like the Episcopal Church, has bishops. It's not an inherently Catholic thing.
Yeah, there's bishops in Orthodoxy as well.
Yeah, so I don't see. I mean, yes, it's Christian, but it's just like a status that was in a castle that would make sense in chess. What would you even rename it to? The wizard?
Now this is interesting. Mage? What we did get out of this was chess nerds and historical nerds came out of the woodworks to be like, well, this is actually a discussion that's been had across cultures in the entire game of chess. In other languages, the chess piece gets called I forget exactly what it was, but I believe in French and Spanish it's called essentially the elephant.
Okay.
And we all know elephants there was a period of time where elephants were really important for warfare, at least in Western history.
I guess. Yeah.
Shouts out to Hannibal.
Yeah, Carthage.
Fucking Alexander the Great as well.
But that was Roman Empire.
Well, yeah, I mean, when we're talking Western history, it includes, it began with the Greeks, therefore leading into the Romans, and then the Romans spread all over Europe, so.
Right. But yeah, I like maybe priest, because priest doesn't inherently refer to Christianity, maybe.
It'd be really funny to call it a eunuch, tying in that advisory perspective. I think somebody pointed out that, I forget which language culture it was, but some places call it the jester.
That's okay.
Another good one.
I think priest would be cool, because priest encompasses all religions. It's just a priest. Yeah. Whatever religion you want it to be.
Tell you, if I was going to rename a chess piece, I would actually want to do it to the pawn.
Oh, what would you call the pawn?
I would want to make it a little bit more obvious. One, the medieval connection, and then two, the disposability that pawns generally have. I don't want to call them a serf. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, you're fucking supposed to give it all for the liege, right?
Yeah, but when they make it to the other side, they become something else. I'd like to call them the game changers.
No, it was born as a pawn. It will always be a pawn.
My God.
Okay. No.
Oh no!
No amount of rules will change that.
Your station is where you belong! Well, thank God we're not doing that anymore. I mean, we still are, kind of, but not exactly.
Yeah. And then the last one that I really have that I thought was interesting is the actual origins of America as a melting pot. Because this is a thing that gets talked about by everybody and apparently has been completely misconstrued and misaligned since its inception.
Okay.
So this phrase, this idea, this concept, this theory was originally posited by a scholar in the early 1900s by the name of Israel Zangwill. And in his laying out of it and him being very specific, he got really specific about this. You hear the word melting pot, and it, by its very nature as a phrase, does not induce, it induces ambiguity. Like a melting pot, mix it all up.
Yeah, because it's everything.
Yeah, not so, according to Mr. Zangwill here, because he emphasized that it is a melting pot of European cultures. And he said specifically the incorporation of a mostly Anglo influence, and then he emphasized, and even when you brought the Irish and the Italians in, they brought some stuff, but they took on the English influence as well. So it's like he specifically meant it to be an amalgamation of the European immigration that came along. And it turns out this guy was super racist. He thought that he thought
Kind of sounds like it a little bit.
yeah, he thought that
It's like he's totally excluding all the other Americans.
well, there weren't nearly as many kinds of American back then as there are now.
Well, I mean, we're talking early 1900s, right? So slavery was abolished in the 1800s. So clearly there was a whole other culture he's missing.
Yeah, he
was
was
American that came here.
Yeah, he was a big fan of breaking down and classifying why the quotes, putting in quotes here, he referred to them as Negroids. So this is the kind of guy we're talking about.
Okay, yeah,
Right?
okay. But
So, maybe not such a good idea. This is a guy who thinks that black people are subhuman. Maybe this makes his whole melting pot theory completely debunked.
kind of, sort of.
Turns out diversity is not our greatest strength.
Wow, that's a conclusion to draw. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah,
but,
the guy had bad ideas, which means that melting pots are bad too.
Okay. But I will say America has always favored immigration from European countries over a lot of other countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like even
Like China was heavily limited in their immigration and stuff like that.
fucking. I believe the Carter-Hambley Act is what changed that in the 60s or 70s or whatever. Vance had a clip on Fox recently where he breaks down why he'd been having Europe trouble.
Dude, JD though, have you seen his memes?
Oh man, the Vance memes, excellent.
They're crazy. Go look those up if you have some free time, listener. The fucking the Vance memes, like the Vance emote pack, and there's all the little him like with like a lollipop and shit. Look that shit up, bro. It's funny.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but to finish off that idea,
Okay.
like even he highlighted that, like, because it's in the context of Europe doesn't like him right now because he had a couple speeches over there where he was like, Europe, fix your shit. And he was just like, I tell them to fix their shit because so much of our heritage is through like the sort of philosophical and political history and growth of Europe. That's like our roots. And so
Yeah, we were a British colony.
yeah, I don't know if you know this about Europe. It's falling to pieces right now. They are being shattered under the hammer of unfettered mass immigration. It fucking
Replacement. What I was talking about earlier.
yeah. I got so fucking sad, dude, I saw pictures, and this happens to a bunch of cathedrals, but I saw another photo set from yet another cathedral that got converted into a mosque, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. It reminded me a lot of fucking...
How do you make a cathedral into a mosque, though? Because there
Turns
needs to be a
into-
mausoleum.
You put down a lot of carpet.
Okay. There needs to be a mausoleum for the dude to do the little call so that everybody knows to pray.
Mausoleums where you shove a bunch of dead bodies that you don't want to put in the ground.
My bad. There's a thing. There's a tower.
What you're thinking of is a museum.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Sorry. Got the term wrong, guys. Doug will make sure that I'm corrected. So the thing, there's like a tower in every mosque where there's a dude that goes up there and goes, ah! And then they all know to pray.
Yeah, it's a call to prayer.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, someone has to do it. It's 5 times a day you got to do it. Like,
Yeah. So, but yeah, I hope Notre Dame doesn't ever do that. That's a super cool cathedral. Let's keep our historical sites the way they were supposed to be, I guess,
amen.
You could just build a mosque. Why do we need to convert a cathedral?
Well, we've said it a bunch of times. There is an agenda out there that is trying to do replacement. There's an agenda out there that wants to see
To see the economic growth?
the West subverted by any means necessary. A lot of it is boardroom driven. A lot of it's just done by, it's a lot of greed. And then there is an angle on it that just hates the West, and hates everything the West represents, and wants to completely dismantle it. So, yeah, not cool. And that's kind of why I don't really give a shit that they took that guy's green card.
Yeah, that guy that said he was anti-West.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was about to talk. I was like, this made me think of that guy.
Yeah.
Some woman was like talking about how he didn't do anything. It's like, okay, well, if I told you I threatened your life, but I didn't do anything, am I okay?
Yeah, well, it kind of gets into like what is and isn't free speech, and I think while he directly didn't threaten anybody's life and he didn't do anything violent per se, and it's like
He's clearly not a patriot.
And again, sorry if you didn't like what went on at specifically Columbia University, but none of what those protesters did was illegal, right? None of it was illegal. All of it was protected under the First Amendment, which does, it's a type of speech, protect protest. So,
Yeah.
feel however you want to feel about the subject matter of those, that's fine. But then you get into this guy's like personal thoughts and philosophy, and he himself espoused and then was attached to organizations that also espoused the complete and total destruction of Western culture and civilization, which, I mean, complete and total destruction implies the ending of lives, but then when you're talking about dismantling a civilization, it's the complete collapse of like a social order of a current and so if that's the kind of shit you're on, I don't care what you're doing if what you're doing is technically legal. Like you pose a threat to my way of life and the way of life of a country that I love and support more than any other country on this planet, let's be quite frank. So, well, I mean, if you don't want to get kicked out of a country, maybe don't call for the end of that country.
Yeah.
And,
Like, it'd be different if, like, a native-born citizen had said it. Because then it would be, like, free speech. It would still be fucked up, but, like, I mean, you can't send home a regular civilian, like a citizen. But this guy was on a green card or a visa or whatever. He should have known better.
Yeah. And I guess he was, and it gets a little more complicated when you consider that he was married and his wife has a kid on the way. But again, you don't, and again, it's just like if you don't cause yourself problems. If your life and family are a priority, then like don't do things that jeopardize that, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You want to take a tangent?
there's no tangent to take.
No, I got a tangent.
Good, do it.
You're talking about if you care about your family. Someone recently was talking to me about rap music. He was like, yeah, I'm going to make some rap music that's about going home to my family after work. and how it's nice to be a responsible parent. And I was like, bro, that's not gonna get played on the radio. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Like, dude, you know how relatable that would be?
Do you know how cool that would be? Because like rap music right now is like so fucked up, like the subjects.
There's such a deep well to draw from there. I think of, topics off the top of my head about how much fun it is to lie to kids.
Oh my god. That's where you're going with it? Okay.
Yeah. Or, like, you know, the sanctuary. For a man, the sanctuary is your poop time.
Okay.
My kids are always up in my business. My wife always has something to do. The only time I get to check my phone is when I take a poo.
Is this the poop hole you wanted to talk about?
Oh, no. Thank you for bringing it back, because we were almost going to miss it. We're going to end on this.
Okay.
Guys, we finally found an industry that was being entirely propped up by DEI and identity politics. They're not making poppers anymore. Poppers have disappeared from store shelves. And just overnight, basically, they're like gone. And it's because one guy was making like 75% of them, which is crazy.
That is crazy. That guy had a monopoly almost.
But, and this kind of ties back into chemicals and like we were talking about at the beginning. They're technically like an industrial product. Like they're obviously not supposed to be for human consumption or use.
I think they have a different use technically, yeah.
Yeah, but there's always been this workaround that exists because it is a solvent. And the quote from the guy who was the head of the distributor / producer, the main brand for poppers was Rush. It had a red lightning bolt on the bottle. But he's like, as far as I'm concerned, I sell nail polish remover. But, you know. It's like,
I doubt it's just straight up acetone, but yeah, I guess it's a solvent or whatever, so.
Yeah, I guess.
Does everybody know what poppers do? Does everybody know what they do? Do you guys know insertionists? Should I explain it?
Based off of that name, they should know.
What should? Okay.
If they're an insertionist.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well.
Yeah, they make it physically easier to have anal sex.
Yes, there you go. There's the bow. That's why we called it the poop hole.
But yeah, just the death of the poppers.
It's not the poop hole loophole like Catholic girls will tell you about in high school. It's we're talking about. It's usually gay sex we're talking about with poppers. So
yeah, it doesn't have to be just gay sex.
yeah, you could give poppers to your Catholic girlfriend, and then the poop hole loophole becomes way easier.
Shoot.
But they're not being made anymore, so.
But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to get into.
Why did he stop making them? What was the reason?
Well, I mean, like with all the crackdowns around, I mean, and this is one point that I stressed in conversation with somebody recently, is like, there's a lot of good stuff to get rid of when it comes to cracking down on the woke agenda and DEI and all that. It also results in a lot of casualties and a lot of, like, for example, the one that I went to, NOAA, Oceanics and Atmosphere, that administration, they got a memorandum saying that like for example, they couldn't use the words black or white, and that causes problems when you're putting out, say, like a memorandum for a snowstorm and telling drivers to keep off of the road because of the formation of black ice. That would stop them from reporting on a dangerous traffic condition.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
So, small example, very small example, but like there's other such casualties. And then lessen like even the letter of the law, just people being cagey and being like, fuck, I might get put in jail if I keep making this nail polish remover.
Right.
So
yeah, when I think of Oceanic and Atmosphere, I'm thinking of like blooms. Like that's what came to my head when I was thinking of like colors. Like there's brown blooms, like from algal, like brown algae, you know, like
red
green,
tide.
red. Yeah. So like, if you can't say any colors anymore, like what are you gonna do?
Yeah, so a lot of basically unintended consequences from the move fast, break shit, Silicon Valley mentality that Doge has brought to the table. But I mean, what is broken can be fixed is how I feel about it. So
yeah, I saw like a judge reverted a lot of firings that they did.
yeah,
So that's probably good. Like a lot of these people, I don't think need to be fired.
Yeah, well, he ordered. Well, yes, they do. First, well, we don't have time to get into that, but
Okay.
yes, they do. No, he issued he ordered the reverting of them. They're not going to get reverted. These are make work jobs that don't need to exist.
So we're Silicon Valleying the executive branch.
Really, the entire federal government. Which, if there is a machine worth dismantling, it's that one.
Disrupt the economy.
Brother, that's about all I got today.
Yeah. Damn. I think we did a lot anyway. So.
Okay.
Time to part a shot.
Bing, bing, bing. Part a shot.
Bing, bing, bing.
Now, how does your gun sound?
Boing, boing, boing.
What does cocky want?
Yeah. Shaboing, boing. Guys, follow me over at twitch.tv/Seth_Nacho411. Not gonna lie to you, bro. I like the way you did it last week. You were like harmonizing with me. It was super cool. Go back to last week's episode and watch the parting shot just to hear us make a beautiful cacophony of sound. Monday, Tuesdays, streaming. DVD, let's go. Let's get it. I had a lot of fun last week just playing and stuff, so come check it out. I've been a Legion main recently when it comes to the killer. It's been a lot of fun.
Ooh.
I've been doing that on my own time. I'm probably going to stream some of it, though.
So, yeah.
And then parting shot. Guys, I've been absolutely in turmoil over here. TikTok is a company that doesn't respond and care about its users, I don't think. They need to work on their policy. I've been sitting on a ticket for days, a support ticket, because my account got hacked on TikTok. So if you see my account, it's not me at the moment. So
Fucking loss of a 279-day chat streak.
I know, and my fucking all my highlights I posted on there. I'm trying to get my account back. Wish me luck, guys.
Amen. Luck. Knock on wood.
You never can be too safe online. There was nothing I could do.
Product of a modern age. It comes for us all at some point. It's an inevitability. Death taxes and getting hacked. Over here, you already know, it's your boy, Doug B. If you want to know what I'm doing when I'm not doing this, you know how to do that. Nothing profound today, or really all that interesting for my parting shot. I don't think I've ever done this before, but my parting shot today is going to be there isn't one.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah, think about that.
What the fuck? Is that to make us get depressed? Because you want us to get depressed at the end of the show?
I guess.
We're depressed because you're not going to give us a shot.
Anyway, what I am going to do is tell you to do what you always got to do, which is carry water, chop wood, and most importantly,
Xiaolong Shu.